Hey guys, this is a question from Cheryl K. That she asked on my WeBid page. She says, how do you, as an artist who isn't on a major label and who isn't a talent agent or agency, get your music played by radio programmers and podcasters, jazz, pop, etc., around the country and around the world? Okay, so there are a couple things to this. And I'm actually going to let you in on all of my secrets here because there are some things I've figured out. So the first thing is, directly to answer Cheryl's question, you need a list. And there are various ways to get these lists. I have my list by associating myself with an independent label. And if you're an independent artist, you can easily do this. There are thousands of independent labels, all with great lists of promoters around the world, like radio promoters, radio hosts, magazines, all of the different outlets. If you can associate yourself with a label, you don't even have to be on the label, but you can affiliate yourself and be able to use their list. So what I did for myself was I actually formed a label called Tiny Records because I had all this music to put out that I had backlogged. I had literally like 50 singles I had recorded over the past couple of years. So I formed a label and I imprinted it onto Rope-A-Dope Records. So basically, I'm doing all of the work. I also got somebody to be a label manager so that she would send out emails every Friday to my fan base and then every Monday to all the radio promoters. And that has been amazing in getting, we're getting this, all of this music of mine and then other people that I'm now able to support. We're getting it played on all these radio stations all over the world. And it's just because I formed an affiliation with an organization that had a larger network than I had. And then did all the work. That's the thing. You have to put a lot of time and a lot of energy into doing the actual groundwork, and you have to follow up with all of those promoters. So you send a blast to that list, ideally regularly. That's also one of the keys is consistency. So you have your list, you have your consistency. Every Friday we release a new single, and I would recommend that to any artist right now. Release a new single every single Friday if you can. It doesn't have to be great. It's kind of messed up, but it's better if you just release something every Friday, because you don't know who's going to like it, and you might not be the best judge of what is your most viable work for people to want to listen to. I'm definitely not that of myself. So the list, the consistency, and then there's a little bit of gaming the system, okay? So Spotify has a unique way of doing things. They're always shifting around their algorithm, but I've been looking at the Spotify algorithm, and one of the things that I've noticed is when you do collaborative releases, and this could be in the form of ideally the 2 people or 3 people being primary artists, what you release will go to the entire fan base of those 3 primary artists. You can have up to 3. Don't do more than 3, or else they'll count it as a collaborative album, and then it goes down in the system. But to have it be to have it be your record, but released with 3 primary artists, and you have to list them on the artwork, all of the 3 primary artists. It will go to all of their fan bases and yours, and then it'll be more likely to be played on Release Radar, which is their system that keeps feeding it back to new audiences, because it'll get that initial push. So I highly recommend collaborative releases in one way or another. And so consistency, your network, the list, and then doing collaborative releases on Spotify is a really great tool. You can also use them in the featured artist section. If you put all the people in your band, for example, on the featured artist section, and they each have, say, 1,000 monthly listeners, and you have 4 people, it'll go out to those 4,000 monthly listeners. So that's way worthwhile. Essentially, that's all to say that, I'm not on a major label. I never have been. I did one record with Shaniki, but they did not do a very good job of marketing they did the so Monifa Brown is amazing, and she did an amazing job, but they hired a marketing team like this external marketing agency to do YouTube marketing, and that destroyed all of our stats on YouTube because the team didn't know how to they didn't know the specifics of the internal workings of what audiences will, like how to target audiences that will click like instead of dislike on your video. And when you're doing intense jazz fusion videos, you don't want to play that to general audiences because most of them won't get it. Anyway, so that's all to say. I tried they're not a major, but they're like a bigger independent, and that didn't really work out for me. And it's worked out much, much better than it ever has just doing it myself, basically. So that's why I started Tiny Records, which, by the way, I am always looking for amazing artists. So if there's anybody who thinks that they want to be on Tiny Records with me, please always send me your material. And I'm always here to give advice too. You can ask stuff on my Weebid page. Yeah, that's all. All right. I hope this was helpful. Thanks, Cheryl.